All right, well, we touched on it a little bit, but let's move into our next piece of news, which is one of the biggest ones, I think. This got a lot of talk about it. We have Jim Carrey playing Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm. Canada's sweetheart,
Steve,
Jim
I think
Carrey.
you have some thoughts.
I have thoughts, and I wish I could make sense of them because I've been thinking about this a lot and just trying to connect it in my mind. Like, sure, Jim Carrey, very funny guy, very capable of performing comedically. I think he's done it once or twice in his career. I've been just trying to envision in my brain what his Joe Biden impression would look like. And it just won't materialize. I mean, I keep trying. All I can see is him doing Ronald Reagan. And
yeah,
I'm
vexed as well.
I don't understand why they chose him. He's a very physical performer. I guess they're deciding on a very physical portrayal of Joe Biden. As reserved as he is in real life, they've always seemed to give him that extra childish pep, especially with Jason Sudeikis' iteration. So maybe they want to tap into that again. But the more I think about it, obviously he's a big name and he's going to get the draw, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, we've seen several different Joe Bidens. So the big thing this signals to me is that they're wanting to take the character and make a marked, we're doing it in a different way now. This is our new take on Joe Biden. Officially, it's not going to be Sudeikis. It's not going to be Harrelson. This is going to be our new thing. But as for why it landed on Jim Carrey, I am also confused, but very excited to see it. I think it's definitely going to be interesting. John, do you have any, are you more hopeful about the Jim Carrey Biden?
Oh, I have thoughts, and they cut both ways. I don't always enjoy it when the show comes at a political caricature in an obviously intentionally positive or negative way. Like, I like the politician to be able to dictate what's funny about them that's worth lampooning. I don't want the performer or the show to necessarily have an agenda about what they would like to say about the politician. And my concern is that maybe this is going to become sort of a let's humanize him a bit, or let's try and paint a picture of Biden that is maybe even a little more likable than Biden. Not that Biden really struggles with being likable, but I know Jim Carrey's politics, and I know that he is fervently, interested in the outcome of this election. And so I wonder where his thinking's at, because ultimately he's going to craft this person for better or worse. And does that mean the show's going to pull punches? Because, well, Carrey's not on board with casting Biden in that light. The show has a very interesting track record of how they portray politicians, and sometimes when it's intentional and when their biases are on their sleeve. And I just have a feeling that because Jim Carrey's bringing so much passion for the election with him, I don't see how that couldn't play a part in how they view it. And I honestly would love to see some ripping on Biden's gaffes and, the verbal diarrhea, and there's stuff that's rife for comedy if the show is brave enough to not try to make Biden as sympathetic and likable as they possibly can. But there's a lot of people at the show that are very interested in making Biden as likable and sympathetic as they can. And so I'm just wondering if comedy will be sidestepped in the interest of painting a version of Biden that, maybe could impact an election.
Yeah, we have a lot hanging in the balance on this election, and I would be very surprised if, especially knowing the politics of a lot of the people at the show, if they weren't taking it, a lot of it on their shoulders to say, we can't mess around with this.
They're not a neutral observer. They're not trying to be.
Right.
They've made that very clear for the last 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what it is, but I would certainly anticipate that they are going to be doing everything they can to make sure that Biden looks good.
Yeah. And if that's the funniest Biden, then great. I'd be happy to see it. But that's yet to be
Alrighty
seen.
then.